Welcome to the Badger Den. I am sorely unimpressed with New Yorkers. You guys literally voted for a commie and are potentially going to put them as the mayor of New York, which is absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. I had to wait until the full rank vote tabulation was counted to be sure that this new a-hole was going to probably be the new mayor of New York City, because you crazy leftists would rather have a communist s-hole than somebody actually running something competently. So this man, Zohran Mamdani, whatever his name is, this commie, is the front runner for the upcoming mayor of New York. And this is absolutely insane, and let's see why. So this man ran on a lot of interesting things. I did a chunk of research on him over the week, getting myself familiar with his campaign, looking at his platform, going to his various websites, and also there's a huge piece going on that's claiming that he supports something which he has not openly done, but probably does. But first, let's go with what we do know. And he has supported communist pundits multiple times. This guy is a bred-in-the-wool communist. He has been supporting communism. He's only been a U.S. citizen for the past 7 years. And in that time, he has been an outspoken commie. Here he is supporting the mayor of a S-hole city in India. And yes, it is an S-hole city in India. You go to anywhere in India, it is an S-hole. And this person is an avowed communist, and he supports this. And this is what he wants to be for New York. You people are bat-ass crazy. He has promised a bunch of free stuff. He spoke, I think, Spanish. He spoke Hindi. And I think he spoke another language in his ads, where he was basically promising the world to all these grifters who are just voting for him to get free stuff. And that's a problem. If you think that you can vote yourself free stuff, you're an evil person, because you're taking from other people to give yourself stuff. You're not a good person. What's hilarious is this is the Google trend the moment voting was over. So the moment voting was over, and the next day at 8 a.m., right here is 8 a.m. on June 24th, with the results coming in, everybody's like, oh, this guy, he's a socialist? What's socialism again? And by the end of the day, people are like, what in the world is going on? How did we allow a socialist to now represent the Democratic Party? Socialist representing the... No, not how. You guys have been doing it. Look at AOC. Look Rashida Tlaib. Look at anybody from the squad. Look at Bernie Sanders. The Democratic Party has become the de facto masked socialist party. They pretend they're Democrats. They really aren't. That's why I've been saying, if you are still a liberal, you're not part of that system of socialist Marxist BS. Get out. Democrats are hardcore moving toward Marxism. If you don't want to be a part of that and you realize you still have your soul, you should not be a Democrat. Oh, socialist hero. And guess who voted for him? The wealthy did. It's the bourgeois champagne socialists that think that socialism is going to give everybody the life that they have. No, honey, that's not how socialism works. Socialism is going to knock on your door, take money out of your pocket, and give it to everybody else. It's going to give it down to Fredo down the street or Muhammad around the corner. That's what's going to happen, and that's what he's promised to do. Don't believe me? It's on his platform. Support from many New Yorkers' wealthiest neighborhoods in Tuesday's primary, while working-class voters earning under $50,000 rejected him by nearly 20 points in favor of Cuomo. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't in favor of Cuomo. But Cuomo at least ain't a socialist. He might be killing your grandma, but he ain't no socialist. And you might think that that's, oh, well, he killed grandma. Do you even know how many people have been killed under socialism? That's right, you don't. Over 100 million, you freaking cad. Mamdani, whatever, get out of my country, won counties with a median income of more than 117,000 by an average of 13 points, while Cuomo won counties with a median income below 62,000 by 13 points. So basically, if you're doing well, you voted for the Champagne Socialist. If you're not doing so well, you voted for at least a dyed-in-the-wool blue Democrat who's a moron, but at least he loves America. Again, showing that under certain incomes, you saw what he won. So some of these Cuomo won, you can see here, and then once you get over 100K, all of them went for whatever the Commie, and Cuomo just pretty much cleaned house for anybody under 50,000. And notice where Cuomo did win, he went right in here and right in here. I don't know those areas, but they are called in here. And you're talking about people like to complain about black voters voting like a monolith. And it's good to see that black voters are beginning to wake up and be like, whoa, we do love America. Unlike these illegals coming in here and waving Mexican flags, we love the American flag. Maybe we aren't for this open border stuff. Maybe we really are dyed-in-the-wool, red-blooded Americans. Yes, you blackies are. You're American as I am. It's a shame you're just now waking up to this fact after being on the Democratic plantation for the last 200 years. Welcome to the party. Did you know that the Republican Party was founded in part by blacks? In fact, I think some of the first members of the Republican Party were black. Republican Party was founded anti-slavery to stop slavery. Get off the Democratic plantation. Asian Americans won, talking about winning for whatever his name is, the Commie, by 15 points. That's who voted for him in a block. That's who's ethnocentric. That's who's racist. I know some Indian people. I know some Pakistani people. Guess what? They openly tell me once we become buddy-buddy. They're some of the most racial people in the world. They believe that their race is the supreme race. Well, if it is, how come you're getting out of your country to come to my country and try to turn it into your country, which is an S-hole? Yeah, explain that one. Mamdani won Cobble Hill by 45, Park Slope by 45, Brooklyn Heights by 36%. So basically where all the money is, he won. Now, Cuomo won working class Bronx, Brooklyn, Rockaway, Longwood. He did win the Upper East Side and Tribeca. I think that far west side, bang me over the head, liberals who live in New York, where Tribeca and Upper East Side are. I think those two pieces were the ones I was pointing out. He won campaigning not only on his socialist roots and ethnocentricity, but defunding the police, rent control expansion, which we will get into, government-sponsored grocery stores, which is insane, higher taxes, $65 million in taxpayer-funded gender-affirming trans care for adults and children. He also, all of this stuff has promised to increase the cost of over $10 billion, which New York is already underwater for having to give out free stuff for illegals. And of course, his big endorsement, AOC, that horrible little brainlet. She literally couldn't even bartend. Who is this guy? So he runs on the premise of defunding the police. He literally wants to dismantle the police and have social workers go out and respond to violent issues. What do you think is going to happen? You think crime is bad in blue S-hole cities? Wait until this guy gets in. At least Mayor Eric Adams understands the necessity of a police force and policing the laws. He also has finally woken up that a bunch of illegals flooding a city is not a good thing. This man believes in state-owned grocery stores. He literally wants to take over pieces of property, build state-owned grocery stores, and do price controls. When has that ever worked out? Please, liberal, please, blue-haired leftist, explain to me when in history has price controls ever worked? Ever. So let me get this straight. I'm producing eggs, right? And you guys are demanding that I sell you the eggs for $5 when I can go down to Kroger and sell them for $6. What do you think I'm going to do? You're going to walk into those state-run grocery stores and you're going to see empty shelves. You're going to see the Bernie Sanders of old that won't spread lines. That's a good thing. Government housing by taking from privately owned housing. He has propositioned that anytime there is a serious infraction regarding rent properties and they happen to be of certain persuasion of the people that own it, that is my assumption, given that he is anti-white, he is going to push to do eminent domain, take over that building, and then turn it into rent-free housing for non-whites and illegals. Don't believe me? He is adamantly anti-white. He is the DEI poster child. He wants to do free busing for everybody, which is insane. He wants to do $65 million to trans your kids. That is a legit thing. He wants to become a transgender sanctuary city to where children can go there. Crazy parents can take their kids to New York and get them mutilated, get them chemically castrated. And this is what you nut jobs voted for. Government child care. He wants to take your children, put them into an indoctrination program. He doesn't want to give you the money to allow you to pay for a nanny. No. That would allow you to choose how your children are raised and the values they're taught. He wants your child in a state-run government indoctrination camp to teach them that commie is good. Help provide abortions. Yep, he wants free abortions. He wants free let's abort babies. He wants to raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. Ask California how that worked for them. He is going to outprice any legal American working in New York to basically force everybody, every single bodega corner owner to, we're probably already hiring illegals, but to basically make it a point that you either hire illegals or you can't afford to hire an actual American citizen. This person is anti-American. He refuses to work with ICE. He wants to really raise that sanctuary city flag high. Mayor Adams was not able to get rid of the sanctuary city policies, but he at least started understanding that ICE was doing what they needed to do and help take criminals, violent offenders, out of New York, which helped reduce crime. This man is not going to do that. This man is going to let this New York turn into LA. Just start seeing it burn to the ground. You want to see the Big Apple get rotted out? This is a quick way to turn it blue, green, ugly. He wants free bailouts for non-whites for property taxes. This is in his platform. If you are a non-white and you owe back property taxes, he wants to take whitey's money and pay for other people's. This is point blank. He wants to use rich people's money. Yes, I'm assuming the white people are rich. Get over it. You keep claiming that all the white people are rich anyway, so what am I doing but reaffirming your stereotype for non-whites for property tax? So if you owe back taxes on your property taxes, and as long as you're non-white, he will cover your property taxes. Insane. And of course, did I mention he's anti-white? So as insane as that is, I want to harp on this a little bit. This man is a litmus test for Democrats. If you are still in the Democratic Party after this, you are becoming full-fledged anti-American, because Democrats, the mask is falling off from the Democratic Party. They have always been a communist group of people. They've been kind of cozying up to commies. Totally get it. They're not full-blown there, but a lot of their viewpoints align with it. However, they were still pure-blooded Americans. The mask is now slipping from the Democratic Party, and it is becoming the Communist Party. This man has been endorsed by the DSA, the Democratic Socialist American Party. This man is a full-fledged Marxist. He wants communism here. He wants price controls. He wants government mandates. He wants control of your wallet, and he wants to tell you how much you can spend, how much you can make. Whatever you can do, he is going to control it. This is insane. This is a watershed moment for the Democratic Party. Either the Democratic Party's mask will completely fall off and you will see more of this type of person running in Democratic elections across the nation, or the Democratic Party will disavow this man, which I highly doubt, and it will start to reconnoiter and start to rebuild. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Democratic Party is rotted from the inside out with commie people, and this will continue to see and progress. The mask is falling off from the Democratic Party. They are communists. They are devout communists at this point. Oh, I want to give you a little bit of good news, because right now that is just so draining that devout commies are literally running and going to be ruling New York City here in the coming year, more than likely. Because I do not see New Yorkers waking up and being like, we cannot have communism here in New York. This will destroy this city. This beautiful, once beautiful city. It used to be very beautiful. I was in New York when it used to be very nice. It is not nice anymore. It hasn't been nice for at least a decade, at least 15 years. I feel for you, New Yorkers. Wake up. Save your city. Trump DOJ, Bondi, is going out and finding where illegals are again benefiting from our paychecks. Minnesota law providing in-state tuition for illegals. Bondi saying in a presser, no state can be allowed to treat Americans like second-class citizens in their own country by offering financial benefits to illegals. Yep, still trying to do it. DOJ stated that the law contradicts federal law prohibiting post-secondary education benefits to illegals that are not offered to U.S. citizens. Minnesota law allows illegal aliens to apply for in-state and free tuition. These laws blatantly conflict with federal law, thus are unconstitutional on the supremacy clause of the U.S. Constitution. Tim Walz is being sued along with Keith Ellison, and the Department of Justice just won this exact issue in Texas, and we look forward to taking this fight to Minnesota in order to protect the rights of American citizens first. This is also coming for New York. Once this S-hole gets into New York and starts turning it into a Marxist S-hole, Bonnie's going to be all up in there, and she is going to be going after this guy discriminating against Whitey. And frankly, Blackie, because we know who he's going to be picking. He's going to be picking Muslims. I want to touch on one more thing. There's a lot going on with this man, that he is a Muslim. He is a declared Muslim. Not a huge fan of that. But there's a lot of rumors going around that he is for Sharia law. Now, he has not openly stated he is for Sharia law, but he has not denounced Sharia law. So for all you feminists out there, go look up what Sharia law is. And I'm willing to bet a lot of those champagne socialists voted for this man. Fine, he hasn't endorsed Sharia law, but you should go look in the Quran and see what Muslims are supposed to do relative to when they come to somewhere and they're infiltrating, relative to when they're consolidating power, to when they do have power. Yep, it's a 3-step process in the Quran. Go look it up. I'll wait. Mouthy signing off, guys. I really wanted better stuff to tell you today, but frankly, this is disheartening. This is scary. And I worry for the future for the Democratic Party. Yes, I am worried for the Democratic Party because I believe the mask is finally slipping. And hopefully we will see the liberals wake up, break off from the Democratic plantation, and the Democratic Party will fall away and rot into the communist S-hole that it is. And hopefully a new party with liberals learning that, wow, our values really don't align with the Democratic Party anymore, because they haven't for a long time. You guys have just voted like a monolith forever. You see blue and you're like, yeah, that works for me. I hope you guys wake up. I hope you see the truth, because we're living in scary times. Mouthy, signing off.